Hi friends, it's Vanessa Short. Let's do our HAC Highlight and Contour 3D makeup. We're going to start with our highlight. I'm going to use my Power Powder brush today. I'm going to just pick up a little bit of my color. We're going to cover these at the end, so don't worry too much. We're just going to get that highlight color. I like to apply it all over my face so I have an even palette. Just going to kind of stipple that on, press that in there. We're going to address my dark circles and these blemishes in a little bit. I usually leave this part right along my hairline out because I am going to apply contour there anyway. Now I'm blending a little bit with my brush as I go, but the Perfector sponge works wonderful to blend all of this out. So don't worry if it's not perfect when you just get the color on there. And I'm applying a little bit more for full coverage because I have my Glam Eye makeup on. So I'm doing full coverage, going out, glamour makeup. Okay, so I've got that. This is actually a lip and cheek color and it's called Frenchy. And it's got a little bit of an orangey tinge to it, if you can see that. It's great for counteracting blue and purple. So I'm going to put some of that under my eyes first. Just a really thin layer. I like to use my ring finger. The warmth of it helps spread that a little bit more. And your ring finger has the lightest touch, so when you're going around your eyes, it's the best finger to use. Be real gentle around your eyes. So I'm kind of patting it in there. I'm not rubbing too hard. Okay, now I know that looks a little funny right now, but don't worry. We are going to brighten that up. I like to let that sit for a couple of minutes and the warmth of your skin will just get it to melt in there a little bit more. So let's go to our contour while that's warming up. I am going to use the flat side of my Detail HAC brush. And I'm using a color called Astoria. And I'm going to start with my cheekbone area. So I'm kind of pressing it in there if you see that. And I'm going kind of heavy because we're going to blend it all out. So how you find your cheekbone is if you put your finger there, you'll feel exactly where it dips in. And it's usually the point of your hair. So you can kind of see that. You can suck in, but honestly that just creates more here. So you're going to want to find that spot and go right on it or slightly above it. It's always better to err on going higher. So I'm just kind of pressing that in there, and a shadow is usually darker right next to your hairline, so it's okay if you get that pretty dark. And I don't like to go past the center of my eye. If you want to create a little bit more of a cheek, you can kind of swoop that right at the end. This brush is great for that because it has a flatter edge, so it's easier. So I've got that on. Now we're going to do that same color around our hairline. I'm doing this a little bit heavy, but I want you guys to see how easy it blends out. So if you have a wider forehead, I would definitely put more of this contour towards the center. Always leave a triangle of light in here, triangle of light in here. That's going to brighten up your face a lot. So if you have a wide forehead, you can put your contour in a little bit further. If you have a really narrow forehead, you may not want any contour here. If you have a taller forehead, you might want to bring that down a little bit more. Dark colors make things recede, and light colors bring things forward. So we've got that. And then you can take just a little bit of that and just go along your jawline and pull that down. That'll create a shadow, and it just Gives you a little bit more sculpted jaw. I don't do this area, but sometimes I'll take a little extra and just put it right there where my jowls are. See that? Okay, so now let's blend the contour before we go on. I've got my Perfector sponge and I've already dampened it really well and I squeezed it out so it's not dripping, but it's pretty damp. So I'm gonna take that and I'm gonna let's just blend our contour. So I'm kind of pushing that in an upward motion. I just want you to see, you don't want to take all of it off, but just blend that a little bit. Just kind of softens it. The point of contour is for it to look like a shadow. And just dab it until you feel like you've got the right amount. Okay, so the contour is blended pretty well. Now let's address these. So I put that Frenchie under there to counteract my blue and purple, but now we're gonna use our Brightener highlight and we're really gonna make our eyes pop. So I'm gonna go back to my Power Powder brush, and I like to use that flat end. You can use either end. In fact, let's use this end for a Brightener color. So this color is a little bit lighter than the color that I put everywhere else. And I'm just gonna press that in right around my eyes. See how that just kind of brightens everything up? There you go. So I like to do a little triangle shape right here. And also I like to get it right here. So almost, you can clean up your eye makeup. This is one of the other reasons why I like to do eye makeup first, because I can really kind of clean up those lines. All right, let's get our other eye. So we're just kind of stippling that in, like pushing it into your skin. And then really clean up that corner line. This uplifts your eye a lot. These brushes are great for cream makeup. They're made for cream makeup, but also the edges on these are nice to really get up in there. All right, so there's that. I'm gonna go back to my Detail Hack brush and I'm gonna take my lighter highlight. I'm gonna draw a little line down my nose. This is the Brightener highlight, is what I like to call it. And then I'm gonna make a little bit of a triangle right here. You can actually add some right here on the side of your nose. I won't blend that out yet, just so you can see where I put it. You can do right here, and you can do a little bit on your chin. For me, because I am a little bit receded right in here, let's put it right here, because bright colors make things come forward, right? And dark colors push things back. So there's that. And if you feel like you just need extra brightening, you can take and you can put a dot of that right there. Okay, grab your Perfector sponge again. I like to use the pointy side for this. I'm just going to press that in. And if you can't get your sponge in there, just use your finger if you need to. So we'll just blend all of that highlight color. And if you need to blend your contour a little bit more, just flip that sponge over. Okay, I'm going to show you a couple tricks to cover these blemishes and also to really define and sculpt out the contour. I like to do all of this before I put my cheek color on. So I'm looking at it and I'm going, you know what, I need a little bit more brightening right here, so let's just add a tiny bit there. And I'm going to use my finger to blend this, because I just want to push it in there. I don't really want to take any off. There we go. Okay, couple of last minute things. We are going to contour our nose. Watch this. This is like magic. So when you contour, you don't really want to draw a line on the side of your nose unless you have a super, super skinny nose and you actually want to make it look wider. But for me and most people, we want to look like we have a narrow nose. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to the top Instead of going on the side, we're going to go to the more of the top of your nose, right before it starts to curve down, okay? And we're going to draw a line. And one of the tricks with this is you need to be looking straight on in a mirror. Don't try to do it when your head is turned, because trust me, you will not draw a straight line. So you can do it with the multitasker brush like this and really draw a line on there. Or if you want it to be a little bit easier, the detail hack brush is great for this and this flat side. So we're just going to pick up some of the product on this edge, and then we're going to lean it on our nose. This will help you if you don't have a steady hand. This will actually help you get a straighter line a little bit easier. So we're going to draw that down the side like that. And then I always do like a little arrow right here. Okay, now we're going to blend it with our sponge. Go real light on your nose because it seems like you can take it off pretty easily. The contour in your nose you can take off. So we'll do that, and then if you want to brighten up down the center again, just draw that line a little bit more. You can even put a little dot right there at the end. But see that? My nose looks so much narrower. Couple of other tricks here. Let's cover our blemishes and let's really sculpt out our contour. So cover the blemishes. I'm going to take the small side of my multitasker. I'm going to go into the darker highlight color that I used. And I'm just going to go right on those. Get up in there close. Make sure you're covering everything. So I like to just cover everything with little dots first, and then I go back and I press it in with my finger real lightly because I don't want to wipe it all off. So again, the warmth of your finger is going to get that to spread nice. So there you go, look at that. My skin is becoming flawless right before our eyes. Everything's blending out. Keep lightness on the sides of your nose right here. Make sure you leave that contour line. All right, so we've got all that covered. Now you can take some setting powder. The vanilla dust powder is amazing for this, and you can set it on all of those little blemishes so they really stay covered all day. And this is what the Power Powder brush is actually for. So I'm just going to press it into my vanilla dust powder, and I'm going to go over those areas that I just covered, and we'll let it sit for a few minutes. That's called baking. If you have any oily areas on your face, this is where you might want to tap into those. I like to do a little bit right under here, right where that crease is under my eye, but I don't go right up to my eye because then it just can emphasize my fine lines. But see how that softened right there so much? So you can kind of just press it in there. Okay, so I've got everything covered. Now, little trick with, let's sculpt out our cheeks really well before we use our cheek color. I'm going to use the lighter color that we highlighted with, or you can mix your two together. Most people have two highlight colors, the one that goes all over and then the brightening color. Sometimes the brightening color looks like it's going to be really light for your face, but the whole point is to brighten. And people have different tones on their face. Most of the time they tend to be darker down here than they are up here. So I'm going to take a little bit of that highlight color and I'm literally drawing a little line right under where I did my contour, and that cleans everything up too. So draw a little line there and see how it really just sculpted that out. And then you can blend it a little bit with your finger or the sponge or a brush. You can use a brush too. But see how that just really sculpted out my contour. Now, We're gonna do cheek color, but if you wanna add a little bronzer to give yourself a little bit of warmth, a little bit of a glow, no matter what time of the year it is, bronzer is amazing. So this is our cream bronzer and it's called Bella. And I like to use the fluffy end of my brush. This is actually the B Squared blush and bronzer brush. So let's use that fluffy side. I dabbed in just a little bit, not a lot. And we're gonna kind of put that just above where we did contour, a little bit more in the center of your head. And I like to just dab it and then fluff it around and it just blends beautifully, but you'll see how much warmth it adds to your skin. If you want to take and put a little bit down your neck and your chest to tie everything in, it just kind of warms everything up. Okay, now we're going to do our cheek color. So I'm going to take the other end of my B Squared brush and we are gonna grab a cheek color. And since I've got glammy eyeshadow on, let's just use something that's pretty neutral and nude on my cheeks. Let's use this one. This one's actually called Nude. We're gonna dab into that. We're gonna put it right in this area, just above your contour. I don't like to go past the center of my eye. So get that on there. And then you can blend with this brush. If you feel like it's easier to blend with your perfector sponge, do that. All right, so we are done with all of our face makeup. Now we can add a little fun.